Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mystic Destinies. So we are on chapter 10, because we did not kill Takumi. Not at all! Nope, didn't happen. Never happened. Didn't do it. Anyway. Immortality's trail. Oh, trial. Trial. It's trial. Because trail is the other word, because I'm dyslexic apparently when I read. Immortality's Trial sounds a little bit better than Immortality's Trail, but anyway. I guess they both sound interesting. I am left standing, staring at Takumi as he looks away, the empty syringes and trash on the floor between us. Takumi, he doesn't respond or look up. He just keeps holding his wrist where he had tried to put a syringe needle in moments ago. I take a few steps toward him until I reach him. I take both of his hands in my own and stare at his wrists, at the faint scars that line his arms. Why don't we get some fresh air? Taku doesn't protest as I lead him by the hand to the balcony. Now on the balcony, I stare up into Takumi's eyes until he finally looks up at me. It's like we were here, and he had that same look on his face, and he told us he pretty much loved us, but we were in love with Tatsuya, and now we're here with you, and you're shooting up, and it's like, but you have us now, and now you're gonna fuck it all up with drugs. Ah! Obviously, he's not, I wouldn't think so, obviously, but I'm just saying. Anyway. Now out on the balcony, I stare up into Takumi's eyes until he finally looks at me. Why were you doing this to yourself? And why all of a sudden? I found out. Takumi sighs. I found out that my mom was attacked by Azucena after trying to get the evidence I asked them for. Oh no. My dad managed to help my mom, but I'm pretty sure Azucena is going to come after my family now. After me. So I decided I have to end this. I have to go straight to the source and find out what happened, and get revenge and protect my family. I'm the only one who can do this. I see. I mean, what you're saying makes sense. And I understand why you wouldn't tell me about it or ask for help after seeing what happened to your mother. But still, you said we were partners. You said you'd rely on me for help. So why all of this? I rub the scars on Takumi's arm, some marks still bleeding. It's not like it's for fun. I knew if I was going after her, I'd need every advantage I can get. Azucena, she's a demon, and she's surrounded by powerful vampires. I'm only me. I'm only human. I stare up into Takumi's eyes as he continues, my eyes filling with tears. I feel inadequate. Oh. Especially when I'm with you. I'm forced to face how weak I am when I have someone to protect. And I feel my limitations even more. When I think about how even you turned out to have magic, how you're even immortal, and I'm nothing compared to you. Oh, baby, it's okay. Oh, my little tackle muffin. This makes me gonna cry. No matter how hard I work, or how hard I struggle, no matter how much I improve, I'll never be able to compare to any of you. I'll never be worthy of you. Oh, shut the front door! Oh! I feel anger bubble up inside me. The tears won't stop running down my face as I glare up at him. How can you say that? You're the most amazing person I know. I respect you so much. You've been struggling by yourself against immense odds since you were just a teenager. Even though you were so young and had no one holding your hand to guide you, you made yourself into this incredible person who can compete with almost anyone. You've pushed yourself to human limits and beyond just to make others' lives better. How can that not be amazing? Damn, I fucked that up. I drop my head and look away. I'm so scared for you all the time. I'm so worried about you all the time. At any time I could lose you to something beyond our control, or even to yourself. You always do your best and treat your friends with kindness. So why can't you use some of that kindness for yourself? Why aren't you allowed to mess up or fail every once in a while? Why aren't you allowed to feel sad about things and cry like everyone else? Why aren't you allowed to rely on others sometimes? I just wish that you treat yourself even half as kindly as you treat everyone else. Tears stream down my face while Takumi only stares at me. Then he hugs me. I put my arms around him after a moment, and he gently wipes my tears away. I rest my head on his shoulder. Taku leans down just a little and whispers in my ear, "Thank you for caring about me so much. And I'm sorry that I made you cry. I'm sorry that I've made you worry about me." I can't stop sobbing, can't stop my body from trembling in his arms. He pulls me back to look at my face. I try to wipe away my tears with my sleeves. "Actually, there's something I want to give you." Taku rummages through his pockets. He pulls something out and holds it out to me. I outstretch my palm, and he drops something that feels like a necklace into my hand. "Taku, what is this?" "Bitch, engagement ring, not necklace." Oh, never mind. It's my gear crystal. I knew what it was going to be, but I just wanted to be an asshole. "It's a gear crystal. I've been carrying it around for a while now. I kept meaning to give it to you, but the timing never seemed right. I kept it so long that I ended up thinking of you every time I saw, and, well, I'll be happy if I can see you wear it now. It's synced to your gear." I look at the necklace, its silver-colored chain and deep blue gems inlaid in a wing-shaped pendant. The color of the gems is so deep that they look black at first. Ah, it's beautiful. It reminds me of the night. That's kind of what I was going for. The wing reminded you how your mother used to call you Little Wing, and how freeing it feels when I'm rooftop running. I was hoping it'd remind you of me, too. Oh, Taku, that's so sweet. I'll cherish it. Thank you. I almost start tearing up again, and I cover my face with the hand I'm holding the necklace with. Takumi gently moves my hand and then suddenly places his lips on mine. He gives me a soft, gentle kiss that only lasts for a few seconds. Surprised, I don't know what to say or do. Then a chilly breeze passes through me that makes me shiver. Let's go inside. Takumi takes my hand and opens the door, leading me in. I'm going to bed. You should go back to Aurelia's house. He tries to move toward his room, but I refuse to move, still holding onto his hand. He looks back at me, and I pull him closer to me, clinging to his arm. I don't meet his eyes. I don't want to go back. I want to stay here, with you. Wherever you go, I want to go too. So needy and clingy, but it's so beautiful at the same time. Takumi says nothing, but begins walking toward his bedroom again, this time pulling me with him. Oh. Hi. Look, he has a futon! He has a loft bed. We gonna fall out of that. In the dark bedroom, there's only a moment before Takumi sits on the floor, pulling me with him. I fall into his lap, and he easily catches me and pulls me into a kiss. I lean into him and slowly push him down to the floor. Okay, are we gonna do this again? Awkward! The kiss begins slowly, but becomes passionate and desperate. I still don't know what we are, but I know that I care very much for him, and I know that I want him right now. I don't want to be away from him more than anything. The night between us is tinged with a different kind of desperation than before. A neediness to be close to each other, more so than ever before. I wonder, is this what making love means? And does it mean that that's what we are? In love? Of course. Of course you're fucking in love with him. You probably have been all your life, damn it. He's been in love with you all his life, so whatever. When I wake up this time, I find Taku right next to me, still sound asleep, on the floor. It's gonna be uncomfortable. Also, considering the fact that it looks like there's a table right here, that had to hurt. I watch him sleep for a little and sigh. I have to go. The thought of the morning after conversation is not something I feel like I want to suffer through right now. Slowly, carefully, I move out of bed so as not to wake him up. I thought you were on the floor. I grab some piece of paper and quickly write Taku a note. I'll be at Aurelia's, so come over when you're ready. I leave it right next to his sleeping face so that it's easy to find. Like, right on his face. Tap, tap, tap. Not that Taku would probably ever miss anything anyway. I'm fully aware that I'm chickening out of the whole friends who have slept together multiple times and need to figure out what they are thing. But I don't feel like I can face him right now, because I'm confused too. That scared the shit out of me, can I just say? I was like, what is that? Like, I almost jumped, like, because I was like, I thought someone was literally sitting next to me, whispering in my ear. I'm sure you heard that. That's creepy as all get out. I gather my clothes and try to get dressed without making too much noise. Shadowy figures flicker into my view, just on the corner of my eye, but I continue to get ready. It's still here. The side effects of my death magic still haven't disappeared. Not that I expected it to. But because there isn't exactly anything I can do about the creepy shadows, I've just gotten used to them. I finish getting dressed and quietly sneak out of Takumi's apartment. Since getting back from Takumi's, I've been trying to do some more research on death magic. With several books spread out on the dining room table, I take notes on what seems to be relevant. I try to ignore the occasional whispers that like to make themselves known from time to time. I hear the front door open and close, and when I look up from my notes, I see Taco and Aurelia walk in. She's with him. Good. Relieved at the sight of the two, I finally realize how worried I was that he might not show up if left alone again. Aurelia's eyes meet mine. Naoki contacted me. He said he'll be over in about 5 minutes to give the potion to Takumi. Oh, that's sooner than I expected. I thought it would take at least a few days, but Nao works fast. That's good. I glance at Takumi, who gives me a little smile, and I feel my face heat up. Aurelia stares at us wordlessly. Before anyone can say more, there's a knock on the door. She goes to answer it, and of course it's Naoki, perfectly on time. The two stare at one another for a moment. Even from here I can feel an odd tension in the air between them. Takumi and I look at each other for answers, but it doesn't seem like either one of us knows what's going on. But he's not the one in it. I thought Junichi is the one in it, not Naoki. In Aurelia's path, but now she's looking at him, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man! As if snapping out of a trance, Aurelia finally moves out of the way. Come in. Nao nods slightly and briskly walks in. He pulls out a small vial out of his jacket. He pulls out a small vial out of his jacket pocket. Alright, sit down at the table. Takumi eyes the vial in Naoki's hand before obeying the instructions without comment. I sit down as well. I grip the table as I watch Nao hand Taku the potion vial. Remember to breathe, Inara. Aurelia stands behind me. She puts a hand on my shoulder, and I put mine on hers. Takumi examines the vial in his hand. This better not kill me, or I'll kick your ass. And then he downs it. Seconds pass with no reaction at all. Takumi opens his mouth to say something, but he freezes. What? Ah! Naoki stands next to him and continues to calmly watch. Taku grabs his head and groans in pain. He bites down on his lip as tears form in his eyes. His whole body shakes. I move to get up, to rush to his side, but Aurelia holds me back with a firm grip on my shoulder. Oh God, what? Takumi? Again I try to run to him, but Nao grips on my other shoulder so that I'm left struggling against both them. Finally, Taku passes out, slumped forward, though I'm not sure he isn't dead. Takumi! Petrified by the very thought that he might be dead, I give up struggling. Please, please. No, he's not dead. We killed him. He should be fine. Aurelia looks at Nao. Check on him. Nao obeys and leads down to examine Takumi. A few moments pass and Aurelia begins to look impatient. She opens her mouth to say something again when suddenly Takumi lifts his head. Leaning forward with elbows still resting on his thighs, he opens his eyes. He stares blankly into space ahead of him as tears stream down his face without pause. Take the opportunity to get rid of Naoki and Aurelia's grip and rush to him. Takumi holds his head when I bend down in front of him. I search his eyes. Takumi, are you okay? He only shakes his head. Takumi? I have a feeling. I was thinking it was going to be Shizuka, the mysterious black-haired woman. Because it's certainly not, it's not Azucena. But then again, it could be his mom. He lifts his head up and looks straight at me because it's something devastating. So it's either her mom or it's one of their moms. I don't know. In between gasps of breath, he manages to slowly speak. His voice sounds strained and tired. The woman, black hair. It was your mother. See, I knew it. That was my first guess, but then I was like, but then he's really devastated, so it could have been his mom, but I don't know why it would be his mom, but it made sense that it was Shizuka, so. BAM! You knew that had to come. Because, otherwise it would have been, oh, strange woman, let's find her. Not, let me remember who she is. It was your mom. A gasp escapes my lips, but it barely registers in my mind. What? Her? Was your mother the sorceress you mentioned? The one that passed down her powers to you? I can hear him, but my body refuses to let me respond. I can't so much as nod. She was. Aurelia answers for me. Even in my frozen state, I feel grateful. I see. Then the coma that was placed upon the detective has to be a magically induced spell. Since no one could figure out what it was, it would be reasonable to assume that it was a very obscure one. Perhaps even one that only someone who had let who had at least some chaos manipulation abilities could use. Immediately, Neo turns around and heads for the door. "Where are you going?" Neo stops and turns to face her. "I'm going to do some research to find out what spell it might be. I'm interested to see if it's possible to wake the detective up. It would mean my deduction is correct and the mystery would be solved." A loud thump at the door makes everyone pause. Another loud thump. No one has time to say anything. The front door is kicked off its hinges and falls open. Neo only stares as it falls just a few centimeters away from him and hits the ground with a loud thump. Standing on the other side is a vampire. But the real surprise is when Azucena Del Bosque steps around him. She leisurely strolls into the apartment, evaluating everyone with her eyes. Azucena stops right in front of Naoki, arms crossed. She leans in toward him until she's right in front of his face. "Your plan sounds solid, but I can't let you wake up Detective R.I. There's no need for him to ever wake again." Neo just stares coldly back at her. Takumi moves in a flash. He springs out of his chair, but that's as far as he gets before Aurelia places a hand on his chest. Her eyes never stray from the intruders, however. Azucena looks at Takumi. "A smart decision, especially when you don't know what's at stake." Turning back to Naoki, a positively evil smile comes over Azucena's face. "Naoki, you and your brother have always been so close, haven't you?" Azucena laughs. "You really should take better care of my pet in the future." Without looking away from us, Azucena signals her lackeys and they drag in a severely beaten-up June. They unceremoniously dump him at her feet, and one of them stomps on his chest. June quietly grits his teeth but doesn't make a sound. Azucena turns to Naoki, who looks like he's barely restraining his anger. "The man who tied up my loose ends 3 years ago will help tie up the last one. A kind of poetic end to a long, drawn-out story, right? If you should decide to resist or wake up the detective after all, then after you attend your brother's funeral, you can join him in death. Vampires enjoy sleeping in coffins, right?" A deep, intense hatred burns in Naoki's eyes, but he doesn't answer her or make any other moves. Azu smirks at him, and then she looks at me. "The girl is coming with me." Taku tries to move, ignoring Aurelia, but Azucena motions to one of her lackeys, and one of them dashes forward to me. The next thing I know, the vampire grabs me with one arm around my waist and wraps a hand around my throat, squeezing painfully. As much as it hurts, though. As much as I'm scared. I'm even angrier that they're using me against Takumi. I'm supposed to be his partner, not some damsel in distress. But when I manage to turn my watering eyes toward Takumi, I can see he's just as pissed. He shoves Aurelia away and lunges for the vampire holding me. Chaos erupts in the room the moment Takumi pulls out a dagger. June breaks the leg of the vampire who's holding him down. As he screams in pain, Neo speeds over in a blur. He pushes the vampire, sending him flying into a wall. He slumps down with a loud groan. Aurelia hops into the air, her wings fluttering behind her, and delivers a swift kick to the vampire holding me. She grabs my wrist, pulling me away from the vampire, and we step back just in time to avoid Takumi's dagger sinking into his stomach. Takumi follows up with several more stabs, and I can't help but cringe, still unused to the raw violence. Behind Takumi, I see another vampire charge forward, knife in hand. "Oh, no you fucking don't!" I push my hands outward to create a shield around Takumi, but the vampire suddenly screams in pain. The knife falls from his hand as he drops to his knees with a gurgle. Blood drips from his mouth, ears, and nose, and he just drops to the ground, completely still. Oh God, what did I do? Oh God, no. I can feel myself shaking. I can't take my eyes off the motionless form on the ground. You should have used that on Azucena. Is he? I hear a metallic clink right next to my head and feel the cold metal suddenly against my temple. In this moment of stillness and absolute fear, my eyes drift to Takumi. I see that he's grappling with the original vampire that held me. He's lying on the floor on his back, a knee in the vampire's stomach, as he's relentlessly stabbing him. I know he's doing it to survive, but it's an image I don't think I'll ever forget. Tossing the vampire off of him, he rolls to his knees. He's about to get up when he looks at me, then at the gun pointed right at me, and finally at Azucena behind me. No. Then there are some questions you should be asking yourself right now. Should yet another person die because of you? Is your comatose brother really worth your pretty little girlfriend dying? Will you make yet another mistake due to your own recklessness? Can you live with the guilt of this one? Taku is visibly thrown off and stares at her with wild eyes, trembling. Even in this tense situation, I find myself wondering what Azucena is talking about. Mistake? Does she know about something in Takumi's past? He doesn't react, even as the other vampire rips his dagger away from him and throws it. He then jerks Takumi's arms behind his back, holding them there. And Takumi just lets him. I'm scared, terrified out of my mind, but I try not to let it show. I feel like my smile comes out as a grimace instead. Taku, remember, I'm immortal, so there's nothing she can do to me. Azucena practically whispers, all traces of her smile gone. I am so terribly curious to see what will happen to you then. A sort of primal fear grips me as I realize that I am prey, in the clutches of a predator. She looks at Taku. Hey kid, is it true? Is even your girlfriend more powerful than you? Something flashes in Takumi's eyes, and I swear I see him twitch. He tilts his head, his eyes wide and uneven. Why don't you find out? With that, he headbutts the vampire behind him, breaks free of his grip, and lunges for Azucena. But as he does, I hear an extremely loud bang go off. I feel cold. Strange. Everything shifts and turns around me. Oh, I'm falling. I can't hear anything, just a high-pitched sound ringing through my head. Something warm flowing down my ear. Dude, she got shot in the head! I want to reach up to touch my face. There's an obscenely searing pain in my head. My face, or maybe everywhere. It hurts so much it seems to overtake everything. But I don't reach up. I don't move. Not really. All I can do is fall, and I can see... all I can do is fall, and all I can see is the abject horror in Takumi's eyes as he reaches out to me. Everything feels extremely far away. Like the world is fraying at the edges, slowly disappearing. I was going to say it's slowly getting darker, you can tell. Oh, I must have been shot. No, Takumi will be sad. He'll blame himself. It's hard to think. The darkness swallows me as I feel my consciousness slip away. I feel my body hit the ground, and then... I was like, there's no way that's a bad ending, because there was no way to avoid that. So, anyway. Well, that's interesting. She got shot. So, I'm pretty sure there's only 13 chapters. So... And then our end. So, we'll actually... So, yeah, wow. Next week will be all of it, except for obviously the endings. And then the following week will be, oh my god, I can't believe we're going to get into, well, it'll be like mid-January, but I just feel like because I've recorded all of these in advance, like, I mean, this episode, oh, hey, Happy New Year! This episode is posting on New Year's Day. And I didn't say Merry Christmas when I recorded Danganronpa or my Lucid one, so oops. Because I just record and I don't pay attention to the actual days they're posting. But yeah, Happy New Year. Yay. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you guys are, 2017. Wow. It's still, I'm a month ahead because it's December 8th as I'm recording this right now, so wow. But yeah, because like I said, I'm not going to be around for a couple of weeks, so I need to record everything in advance. But yeah, so next week we'll finish it up. So hopefully I'll have those episodes recorded. I'm really more concerned with trying to get the stuff for the week of Christmas and then this week done, which I have accomplished. I have a couple things to do, but I still have 3 weeks worth of Sims stuff to record. Like my stuff for next week for Sims, I'll be home to record them, but I don't want to like get home and then have to record all of my Sim stuff and everything else for the week, because that's a lot of shit. So I'm trying to get it all done now, but we'll see how it goes. I still have the weekend and I still have all next week, so before I'm not going to be able to record because of family and stuff. So, but yeah, anyway, yeah, so I will see you guys Next time, remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.